Well, it is not the way it was regarding that invasion of gypsy moth caterpillars. Now, hard to find that many alive.
And just a few weeks ago, some were calling the infestation biblical. The DNR is crediting the fungus for a massive die-off of the invasive insects. They're unwanted because as caterpillars, they feed on the leaves of trees. Lou Hillman has more in this Fox 11 follow-up.
When we visited Tim Clark's home in western Oconto County last month, there were literally thousands of gypsy moth caterpillars crawling all around us.
To have such a mass amount of insects crawling all over your property and on your person was just unbearable.
Things have changed quite a bit in just 2 weeks.
It's been a tremendous relief.
The DNR says all these dead caterpillars are a result of a fungus introduced in the 90s by wildlife officials. Its effectiveness, however, varies year to year.
It has done very well because of the recent rainy weather we've had.
Bill McNee is the state's gypsy moth suppression coordinator. He says the massive die-off benefits homeowners and trees.
The caterpillars that are still crawling are going to be very infrequent. The trees that were defoliated heavily and stripped bare back then are now coming back to life and producing new leaves.
There are areas where dead caterpillars literally line the trees from top to bottom. The DNR says some have survived, but the population is expected to be significantly smaller next year.
Most of the areas that were heavily infested with the crawling caterpillars are probably not going to need spray next spring because the populations have been reduced so dramatically.
Which may mean some relief next year, but Tim Clark believes the state still needs to be doing more.
Chances are that's all going to survive, become a moth, and then the cycle of laying eggs starts all over again.
He'd like the state to be responsible for finding and treating all problem areas.
This is something that's going to persist until we can eradicate it.
DNR officials say changing their current program is not in the plans.
If there was a requirement to spray all infestations, who would pay for the tens of millions of dollars it would cost?
The critters may be mostly dead this year, but they're sure to be back crawling again. In Oconto County, Lou Hillman, Fox 11 News.
Gypsy moth caterpillars not only damage and kill trees, they also leave behind a significant amount of fecal droppings, and many believe they are equally as much of a nuisance as a threat to the environment.